Hey, everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here with my good partner and co-pilot Abe Safa. You know, man, it's that time of the year where we have to talk about a subject that's very common right now in our industry, and that is stuck. You know, what to do when you feel stuck in real estate. Well, Abe, hey, thanks for being here. I'm excited about kind of diving deep into this conversation and see what you have in mind. I surely got a few thoughts myself, but what comes to your mind when what do you do when you feel stuck? I kind of I have a little routine myself, but what do you do?
Yeah, that's a great question, and this is a great topic, especially this time of year, Greg. I mean, the one thing I want to make sure that the audience out there gets is we all, at some point or another, feel stuck, right? So no one's
100%.
immune, not even the Greg Harrelson. Like, there's nobody that's immune to getting stuck. So we all get there. So it is normal, right? And I think one of the most important things I could probably say on this call that would help people is a lot of times when we get stuck, we feel like we have to go back and figure out something.
Mm.
Like we have to go back and plan, and I got to redo my schedule, and I got to do this and all of that. And most often, like when I feel stuck, what helps me the most is like I just take action on something. Just start moving, right? Like, so the mornings where I don't feel like running, like just put my shoes on, right? And then all of a sudden I'm out running, and before you know it, I'm out there doing a couple of miles. I'm not even thinking about, hey, I was stuck in bed 20 minutes ago, I didn't want to run. And it's the same thing with business. It's like we don't have to think too much or try to overthink when we get stuck. Just sometimes it's just a simple act of doing something. Anything you already know what to do, just do something will actually get you unstuck. So I'd like to
Yeah.
start there. And I know I
Yeah.
see your eyes lighting up. I know you were thinking it
Yeah.
is too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, there's a lot of things that you're saying that are so basic yet so important, right? So one of the things that I'm hearing you say, and I agree with, is like to go from stuck to unstuck is just you're only one action
Mhm.
away. And you put it back to the perspective of running. You're laying there. I don't want to run. I don't want to run. Screw it. I'm just going to get up and run. And then boom, you run, and now you're unstuck. It was that one decision. We're one decision, one choice, one action away from being unstuck. So everybody, no matter where you are in your business, just understand you're one decision, one choice away from being unstuck. I was thinking about this, and there's a few things that I can share because I do get stuck. I get stuck often, and I think a lot of people get stuck often. Because there's getting stuck to the point where you're just like you're stuck and you're stuck for months and months. That's one thing, but a lot of us get stuck once a week, maybe even once a day. And when you start to really see it and understand it, you can prevent those big breakdowns by just making sure you have some sort of process in place. So like for me, when I'm thinking about being stuck, usually stuck is a way to describe where a participant is. And when I'm a participant in something, I get stuck. That's me being a participant. I'm stuck. I can't move forward, or I'm not moving forward. So when I'm being a participant who's stuck, I shift from being the participant to being the observer. And I go and like, let me just look at this thing for a minute. Let me step back and look at this thing. And I ask myself, as the observer, what am I saying as a participant that's keeping me stuck? And usually the conversation I'm having as a participant is ridiculous. But as an observer, I look at it and say, that's ridiculous talk. That is not true. You can do this. There's nothing to fear. Just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? See, that's an observer conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The participant conversation is, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't feel like it. So when I'm feeling stuck, I realize I'm being a participant and I need to shift to being an observer of myself. And what I usually find when I'm the observer is I find that I'm being ridiculous. Yeah. And everything that's got me holding me back is all just me and the self-talk in my head. Get out of the way and get going. That's one of the first things that I wrote down. Thoughts on that?
I love that. And I think that's something that we all need to do from time to time, is be an observer. And I wonder, like, if you do that often enough, if you spot the pattern that you run on yourself whenever you get stuck. Like, what is the repeating thing that you say to yourself? What's the actions that you stop doing over and over, and then all of a sudden get you stuck? Now, you did a coaching call, I can't remember how long ago it was, in Agent Success Academy, distinguishing the difference between a breakout and a breakthrough, which I thought was phenomenal. Especially for this topic. It's like, a lot of times, like, you just need to break out of these thoughts that you're having, that you're making yourself stuck. And again, it's simple action. A lot of times, you just pick up the phone and make that one phone call. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you made your second, you make your third, and you're not stuck anymore. Right. So the minute that you just take action and do something will get you started. So feeling stuck should not be a stop sign. Like, I put a note here, it should not be a stop sign. It should be, it's a sign to actually get into action, get into motion, and do something. And we could translate that to anything: business, personal, physical, whatever it may be. Just the act of just doing something. And then from there,
that's a good point. I like that. It's not a stop sign, but it's like a yellow light blinking, just to, like, should be aware of it, right? But it's nothing to stop you.
Yeah. And then once you start taking action, you're going to see that momentum will start to build on its own. You already know what to do, right? So it's not like you've got to figure out something. And then once you're in action, of course, you could take it to the next level at that point. You could do, like, hey, now that I'm actually back on the phones, making my calls, which I haven't been doing, now let me do something for the next 30 days. So I think once action starts, clarity starts to show up. And I think from there, you can set up like a 30-day generation sprint. Like, okay, for the next 30 days, I'm going to focus on making sure I make at least 20 contacts a day. But a lot of times that when we're stuck, we're not even thinking that far, right? It's just taking that first action will get you moving, will give you some clarity. Once you got that clarity, then you can have the vision to see forward and make plans like that. Yeah.
I can add another little process that I go through. And it's really, because I've coached this on other ages, because I truly do this. It's like, okay, now I'm the observer, and I realize, okay, this is kind of ridiculous. Step number one, I acknowledge it. Step number two, I make light of it. Now, let me share with you, this is, you guys might think I'm kind of crazy when you see this, but it's like, here's how I acknowledge it. Whoa, damn. Wow. I'm a chicken shit.
Yeah.
Man, this is like, I'm actually feeling like stuck, or I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling hesitant, whatever it might be that I'm feeling at that moment. This is kind of comical. So, I mean, I really, truly have gone through this so many times in my life, where I acknowledge it and then I make light of it. Like, how, because that's an observer. It's like, it's kind of ridiculous. It's not real. So I acknowledge it and I make light of it. Like, this is crazy. Amazing how I'm letting myself go here. Like, I'm making light of it. Then I'm like, then I don't stand for it. I said, I'm going to stop this craziness, this madness. And then I take an action. So it's like, oh gosh, wow, I'm feeling a little tense. I'm kind of stuck. I'm not moving forward. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Right.
You know what? I'm no longer dealing with this. No way am I letting this hold me back any longer. This is ridiculous. I'm going to do blank. That is the conversation that I have with myself when I'm experiencing stuck or fear, which leads to hesitation a lot of times.
It's funny, I'm laughing because I have the same conversations in my head about that as well. And just the fact that you step away and be an observer allows you to see how illogical your thinking has been. right? The excuses that you're coming up with,
Yeah.
the reason why you're not doing something, even though you know you're supposed to be doing it, it just becomes really clear on how illogical you're being. And yeah, a lot of times that in itself
Yes.
will just kind of just shake you up and get you back on track.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Any final thoughts on Stuck? I think we've kind of dove into it pretty good, but any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think one important thing is, especially this time of year, I always feel a need to talk about tracking your numbers as an agent. So a lot of times when you're tracking your numbers and you see the day-to-day changes, the day-to-day progress, day-to-day pattern, a lot of times you can catch yourself before you get unstuck. So I tell a lot of agents, like, especially this time of year, if you haven't been tracking your numbers, this is a great time to start tracking them. This is something we teach people in Agent Success Academy. It's like, hey, you need to be able to dial in your business. So if you're looking at your numbers and you start to see a pattern of declining, say, number of contacts, number of appointments set, a lot of times you'll catch yourself before you get stuck, especially going into the new year. So that's something I would suggest that everybody should do anyway, is pay attention to their numbers.
Yeah, it is quite amazing, the patterns, especially if you track it for a period of time. And your previous career, retail, I would imagine, and I think I recall this in conversations with you or just observing you. Didn't you pretty much know, like, on certain months or certain weeks of a year, what your historical traffic was in the store for the last so many years? And like, what did that data do for you? Like, how did can you tell me about that? Because I think it's relevant to what you just said.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we would track the amount of people that walked in the store. We would track the amount of people that walked in the store per hour, different days of the week. So we would know, hey, on Tuesdays, we typically get a rush from 5 to 7 p.m. So there's a lot of decisions you can make on that. You can make sure you have enough staff, make sure the inventory is right. So there was so many numbers to track. And once you look at them, it allows you to make good financial decisions.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything across the board, from what sales were per hour.
How much inventory, right? How much inventory you need to have in the store?
Certain time of the year. Yeah. Especially like right now during the holidays where you're going to do a certain number of sales. Like to me, having that background, like I can't imagine running any type of business without having some data to look at. Because how do you make decisions at that point? It's just guessing.
Yeah. I guess being in action is great, but being in action with intention is greater.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Hey, look, check out Agent Success Academy. I know I've share a little bit about Agent Success Academy. This is where Abe and I have live coaching on a weekly basis. Just check out Agent Success Academy. We would love to coach you and help you build your business, especially if you're somebody looking to acquire and take a lot of listings. We have agents that are, taking anywhere from 10 to 20 listings per month, just following the techniques and strategies that we coach. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be coaching again in just about 45 minutes, and I'm going to have a conversation on how to approach expireds. It's going to go beyond the listing presentation and talk about the things that people are doing wrong when they're approaching expireds and why they're constantly finding themselves in confrontational conversations that lead to nothing. We want to convert those conversations. We want to avoid confrontation, and I'm going to coach that in Agent Success Academy this week. Everything's recorded. So if you were to join Agent Success Academy now, there's over 200 videos that you can actually watch from previous coaching calls. I actually don't like to call them coaching calls. I call them master classes because they're deep dives on particular subjects. So you can actually go back to the catalog depending on what you need, do a deep dive, and be in motion and grow that business and grow in that area immediately. Abe, thank you so much. Also, please, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please subscribe so you get notifications whenever you get a new video. And if you're watching this on the Level Up podcast, I recommend that you also subscribe to Level Up, leave a comment. It sure does help us. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Abe.
Enjoyed it. See you guys.
Bye-bye.